everybody, I'm Yumiko, and this is a day in the life of a teacher. Today our guest is Jason Schafer from Edison Elementary School. How are you doing today, Jason?
Doing well. Just got back from school and I'm ready for this interview.
That's great. So after graduating Walla Walla University, you're now a teacher.
Correct.
And in your opinion, what's the best part about teaching?
Man, there's a lot of good things about teaching and I enjoy my job quite a bit, but the best part would probably have to be the interactions that you have with the kids, right? So fostering those connections, establishing the relationships, getting to find out what they're passionate about, and then after that, once you've set the foundation for a good relationship with them, being able to work with them, gain their trust, help them learn more and discover more about the world about them. One thing that also always happens in class is, kids say the darndest things, right? They say things that are absolutely hilarious.
That's true.
I have to find myself, holding back the laughter because they say some really funny things, but just being able to work with them, get to find out what they're passionate about, what they're looking forward to doing in life, and then seeing them grow as they go throughout the year. That's something that's very rewarding, and I think that is unique to teaching, There's a lot of great, fantastic jobs out there, but being able to have an impact on someone else's life and help them become a better version of themselves is something that I think will always be rewarding. So that's probably my favorite part about being a teacher.
That's amazing. What would you say is the hardest part about teaching?
Ooh, it's got to be classroom management, hands down. So I'll actually backtrack really quick and talk about an experience I had in Spain before I started teaching this year at Edison. My junior year of college, I worked as a first and second grade ESL teacher at the campus that my parents met at in Spain. And I thought that my classroom management was going to be okay, but it was in fact not enough. The students there are used to teachers who are very hard and I guess more punitive,
Right.
Very quick to call them out and be quite strict. I went in there with the whole attitude like, hey, let's get to learn together, buddy, buddy. Ooh, terrible mistake, Yumiko. They just kind of didn't have that much respect for me, and I lost the class like halfway through the year. So I had to backtrack, let them know, okay, we're going to try this again, and things are going to be a little bit different around here, right? So going into this year, I tried to have a firm balance between, being firm and having enough balance in the classroom, but also, letting them know that I'm willing to be your friend and we can learn together. So if you don't have classroom management down pat, your class will run riot. They will also lose respect for you as a teacher and they will not be engaged or listening. So got to make sure you can be stern at first and then go on.
That's great. And we actually have a question for the audience now. And if you are listening to us today, we have the question. It is, what is or was your favorite subject in school? So if you can drop it down in the comments and we'll get back to you guys in a second. So let's continue with our interview. And how would you say you build the relationship with your students?
Great question. I think it's very important to find out what students are passionate about, what their hobbies are. I've asked them a lot of questions about their pets, their family, what they do on the weekends. So during the first week of school, we actually compiled on Google Slides presentations about ourselves, right?
Oh, that's
what
very
I'm
nice.
interested in, what I did this summer, what kind of activities I did with my friends, and then I would have students share with each other, either in their small table groups or in front of the class if they wanted the whole class to know. So students are very excited about talking about, what they're interested in. I got kids that love Pokemon and Minecraft and Beyblades and all these little toys that I don't even know about, but they seem to be very passionate about that. So when I try to make that connection and at least ask questions, tell me about Pikachu, tell me about this Pokemon, how do you use a Beyblade? They are very happy to start telling you about that, and that's when you can build that connection.
Right.
So when I get to hear from them that they're interested in Pikachu, then when it's my turn to be like, hey, subtraction, division, multiplication, let's be interested in this, they'll be more engaged as well. So basically being able to establish that connection with them I think is important, and you can find out what they're passionate about. Also being willing to use some humor in the classroom. When I've decided to be a bit more humorous and tell a few jokes, that's helped to break the ice, and I've been able to win a lot of students' confidence, even those who are a little bit more shy.
And going to our next question, would you describe a time you felt challenged by a student? How did you handle that?
Great question. I currently feel very challenged by a student. I've been teaching for a few years now in different spheres, right? Some high school level, some collegiate level. I have my own business, Jason's language school. But for fourth grade, this is my first time doing fourth grade. And I have this one student who is very interesting in the fact that he, sometimes can make it challenging to work with him. But I've been able to work with him by letting him know that we can trust each other. We can get things worked out. I am here to be able to provide assistance and to help you get better at math or whatever that you're interested in, right? This being said, it's not only rewards, there also has to be, at times some disciplinary action, right?
Yes.
So the student understands, hey, if we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, we might take away minutes from recess. We might have to spend some time, chatting with our our specialist, a lot of different things and different options that keep things smooth and keep the ball rolling. So my students know that they have their different assignments that they have to do, and that speaking out or being off task, using an appropriate language is going to result in recess reflection with Mr. Schafer while their friends are out at recess.
Okay, so now our audience has given us a few responses to our question of what is or was your favorite subject in school. And our first is from Maya. She says AP English. I agree. I never was very good at English and writing. Jody says math. Math can be very hard.
Sure can be.
Tori says PE. I never really liked running. And Evelyn says psychology. And our last one says lunchtime.
Lunchtime.
Wow.
All right.
That's the first.
It's a classic with my students. They always love lunch.
Yeah.
I'm sad I didn't hear any foreign languages. There was no Spanish or French or AP Italian, but it's okay. It's whatever.
All right. And we continue with our question. What would you say is, like, how would you motivate your students during class?
Great question. So it's nice when there's intrinsic motivation at play, when a student is already interested in the topic at hand, and you just need to kind of light that fire, right? They already like math, but then you need to let them know, hey, this is why math is important. Let's try this out. Other ways to motivate students, letting them know if we get this certain page done, if we are able to figure out problems 1 through 3, we can work with partners.
Right.
Oh man, Mr. Schafer, I can work with partners? You mean I can sit on this side of the room and work with them one-on-one? Yes, you can do that, and they get big into it. So giving them the option, being able to work with partners also helps out a lot.
All right, so I think it's time for us to wrap it up, and we'll talk about this in a later time. Thank you. Oh gosh.
Man, I had so much more I wanted to say.
I had more questions too, but I was like, hey,